Light Game Reviewer, and welcome to my channel. So, I see this... Light Game Reviewer, and welcome to my channel. I see this from time to time, from people who say this, or even in game, or even when they make a review, and I've seen a couple of videos on the subject of, do I need to complete a game to make a review? And that applies to everyone. And here's the thing, you even see sometimes, like today, big reviewers, as in like the popular ones. Let's say the professional ones, the ones that we know that are paid to do this, like IGN, PC Gamer, Polygon, and so on, like those big websites, alright? A lot of times, like the latest one here, Metal Gear Solid 5, they had, if I'm correct, they had a boot camp with 30 hours to play the game, to make the review. That's it. No way in hell they completed the game in 30 hours. That is just impossible. No way. Does that make the review invalid? I took some notes here, so I might look at my notes. I mean, let's go back to the basics here, because, you know, I like to go back to the basics, because what's the point of review? You know, it's just to know if it's worth it. In my case, when I make a review or a first impressions, I recommend the game. Well, that's the question. Do I recommend the game at the end? Like, at the conclusion, at the end of the video. That's what I usually do. I tell you, I just make like a brief overall of what I talked about. As in, you know, this game is really great. It features this. For whatever price, yeah, it's really worth it. That's my gig. That's how I do it. That's my style when I make reviews. For someone else, it might be something totally different. Some don't even mention the price, or they don't value their recommendation. Because to me, that's the point of a review. It's just to recommend the game or not. That's the point of it, is it? I mean, you just report the game, give your opinion on it to see if it's good or not. Why would... Is there any other reasons to make a review anyways? I don't know. Just please explain to me if there's any other reason. And I've seen like a couple of, I would say excuses, well no, not excuses, just arguments, as in, there's one that says, they're gonna introduce new content, or they're gonna introduce a new mechanic, they're gonna introduce some, whatever new thing, at the middle or just later in the game. Well, let's go with number one here, because there's two sides to this. Do I have to torture myself? Let's say like for like half of the game or whatever. Let's say I've been playing for 4 hours. Hypothetical number. It could be 10. It could be 20. I don't know. Well, I guess that at 20 hours, if you don't like the game, you're just gonna stop at one point. Because some people, after 30 minutes, if they hate the game, they just stop. So let's say if at, like, I don't know, like 5 hours, you really hate the game. If I make a review, do I have to complete the game in this case? What if it's half of the game or 1/4? I just hate it. I had every aspect of the game, like the AI, the level design, some part of the story, not all of it, of course, obviously. There might be other things as well that I'm not thinking of right now. Oh, well, yeah, character design, the graphics, the sound, the music. Like, there's a lot of things that you can look at when you make a review. Is there anything new that I need to, like, I don't know, I'm just giving out numbers here. Let's say that, in my opinion, a game is, like, worth... I don't give numbers on my reviews, but what if I, like, use numbers? Like, I don't know, 2, 3 out of 10, whatever. Because I got a new mechanic. Let's say oh well, yeah, there's the boss as well. When you beat a boss, or when you go through an entire level, you got some enemies or people to kill, whatever. And then at the end, you're supposed to have an enemy. That's how usually game works. Sometimes they're different, I know that. And the way it works with bosses, it's supposed to make you, let's say, it's like an exam, you know? You got your exercises and all of your teaching tools at first through the entire level, and at the end you got the boss. That's the exam. 1 or 2 mistakes and you're frickin' dead. That's it. You're done. And you have to restart the whole thing again. Just like in school when you do exams. I don't even know if that's a correct example, but that's what I'm thinking right now. And that's the point. That's the thing of a boss. But what if the boss sucks? What if he's good? Does that justify giving it like a higher number if I torture myself for the like 5 hours or 10 hours? Hell no. Like, there's another one. Let's see here. Like, you might have missed something worthwhile. Okay, well, I'm gonna go again with the time. Let's say there's a game that takes from 12 or from 10 to 16 hours. Usually, I'm gonna stick with first-person shooters. There might be other types of game, but just for the first-person shooters, because they usually have a good mix of not everything, but a lot of things. As in, good story, some adventure, a lot of action. That's usually how it is. It's not the perfect recipe, but it's usually something that works well. So, if I miss something like through, I don't know, like through 10 hours, I think it's an average game. Does it justify the fact that I give a higher number if I see something else like 2 hours later? I don't think so, because the thing is this, when I buy a game, if I spend like $60 or $50 or $70, or even today it's like $80, in my case, because you're going to see it on Steam as $60 or $70. In my case, because of the taxes that I pay in my province here in Canada, I have to pay like 15 hours a year, right? I have to pay like 15% of taxes. It's not $70, like it's over $80 here. So yeah, it's like a freaking lot of cash. If I'm going to play for, what, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 hours? From 0 to 20, I gotta have fun. No, seriously, take it with everything else. Like, you can compare it to everything else. If you go to a restaurant and the only thing you loved was, I don't know, out of the entire plate, you only loved, like, the vegetables, and there's, I don't know, like a quarter of it. Is that worth $20? If you go to, I don't know, like to the cinema, like to the theater, and you didn't like the movie, like the movie was a complete failure. It did happen to me once with Cloverfield. My wife actually just puked all over the place. That wasn't nice, so I asked for a refund. A lot of people ask for a refund, by the way, because of the camera movement. Yeah, by the way, the movie is a complete fucking failure. It's a piece of shit. I don't like the movie. And I'm not a movie critic, but I just really didn't like it. I really didn't like it. They accepted the refund. I stayed throughout the entire video, but what if I stayed for 20 minutes? My wife puked at that time, alright? I was fine, but I did have a big fucking headache at the end of the movie, like a big one. That never happens to me. Never. Ever. Well, except for this one. What if I stayed for 20 minutes and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going. Bye. That's it. Does that justify me saying that movie is shit? Do I have to listen to the entire movie to say, yes, you know what? The movie, the movie was good because of XYZ reason? No. Review for, well, maybe I should change the name of my videos for first impressions. But the thing is, for 20 minutes, I didn't like it. What makes you think I'm going to like it for the rest? Even if I like it, I'm not going to say it's good. It's bad. I'm sorry, but it's just like that. It's how it works. If I look at every aspect of a game and I think it's not good, it's not good. That's it. Personally, I don't think I need to complete a game to make a review. And that works for a lot of other people as well. There are a lot of big YouTubers that even say, you know what, I played for a couple of hours, and here's a review, and blah, blah, blah. They introduce it in their text in a way that feels natural, as in, well, here's my review, and you're looking at this game, and and I don't know, I played for 10 hours or so, and they just introduce it in a really natural way. That's what I do in my review. I usually tell how many hours that I've played, and a lot of the time it's indie games, so yeah, under 10, 20 hours usually, top. I usually play like a long time, but I am really honest about it though. I'm not gonna hide. I'm not gonna lie, that's for sure. I don't think a lot of reviewers lie about it too. Even if they did. If they look at every aspect of the game and it takes them like 4 hours out of 20. And if it sucks, well, in that case, they should play a lot longer. Like, is that it? Like, does the game suck through the entire time? Is it that bad? In that case, I would say yes. Like, you should play a lot more, because it feels weird. It did happen. Right to hell with Retribution. Yeah, there's another one here. Like I said previously, like, for example, what if the game sucks, but, like, some parts of it really suck? Or, like, it's good average, let's say. And it's kind of a meh experience. But then you get the last boss. Really cool. Or you get the last level. It could be like one thing out of the game. There's a great example in that, I just thought about it. Duke Nukem Forever. I remember, like through the entire game, I thought the level design was really a piece of shit. It really was. It made me think of... It was even worse than Duke Nukem 3D, like in the old days. That was good. Good design. You had to look, you had to search. This one was so linear in a way that was really weird, but it's Duke Nukem. I tend to expect that, from it. And there's a whole lot of things that made the game good and average, but not really perfect. But there's one level out of everything that I found out that was really cool. It's the one when you're... I think it's inside the some place in the earth. Like, the level were really crazy. Women that were being, like, I don't know, like, abducted. They were really, like, naked in front of you. And no, it wasn't the women that made it really perfect. Even though you could slap their breasts with your hands and everything. But no. No, that wasn't it. Like, the level was... I don't know. It's like a whole other development team that made that level specifically. You had linear levels throughout the game. You had to go that way. There was 3 ways. It was that way. That was it. It was so obvious, but this level was... It was like a freaking maze. I don't know. I really loved it. You had to go a certain way and you weren't really sure, so you had to kind of... You had to explore. It was like an adventure or something. It was really weird. I really loved it. Even though the design was a bit dark and gritty and really weird, because you saw those 2 girls from the beginning, which, I don't know, I think they sucked your dick or something. And then for some whatever reason, you didn't care when you killed them. That was awfully weird and really awkward. But the rest, like the level design, I have to admit that was, like, near perfect. That was near level, like, really near level design perfect here. But the rest, it wasn't good. It really wasn't good. It's like a 10-year-old, like, who made his first level, or like in Doom 2 or something. It was really weird. Would that make the game perfect? Do I need to complete the whole game to say, you know what? It sucked. No, you don't. You just give out your observations. By the way, a review is not informative. Well, it is informative, but it's subjective. It's just an opinion. You don't have to take it seriously. That's the thing. There's a lot of reviews out there. There's a lot of people who make reviews of games, and I don't even take, like, Total Biscuit seriously from time to time, because the things that he says sometimes just, to me, doesn't make any sense. It doesn't mean that he's bad. He's just, like, he's a good guy that makes a lot of reviews that are good, but sometimes I don't agree with him. That's me. Like, personally, I think he's way overboard with the graphics here, but that may be just me, though. I don't know. It might be just me. Yeah, that's the thing. All I'm saying is this, that when you review a game, personally, I feel that you don't have to complete the game. If it takes you 4 hours to look at every aspect of the game, you got every information available. Why would you complete the game? To me, I don't have any justifications to complete a game, even if the last boss was good. If the last boss was good and all the others sucked, well, I'm sorry, but that developer didn't do his job and he was really lazy because he put all his work at the end. Not through like the beginning where you should do. You know, if you got like 7 bosses, then you should concentrate your work on those 7s. It's like that. Like, I can tell you that the AI, this is one thing. Like, another game, for example, Arkham City. I take that example from time to time when I have the opportunity to do that, but I remember Mr. Freeze in Arkham City. The AI, I think it was, well, no, not near perfect, but it was really original, and I really liked it. I would love to see that kind of boss fight style a bit more. Here's the thing. Usually with bosses, it's only like a memorization, or like you just learn the pattern of an enemy, well, from your boss, and that's it. Once you learn the pattern, all you have to do is make no mistakes, and he's dead. You have to be patient, that's all. There's nothing else to it. That kind of method existed since the 80s and 70s. It's always been like that. But in Arkham City, Mr. Freeze, you can attack him one time, and one time only. You cannot attack him twice in a row with an attack. For example, if you're Batman and you go under the grates, for example, you cannot you can't grab him from the grate, from the grate or from the bottom. I don't know how to say correctly, but you can do your attacks twice. If you shoot him with your like a special ability, like the Batarang, for example, you can't do that twice. He's gonna block it. You can't attack him from like a statue really way above and go down and try to attack him. That will work once, but not twice. So you really got to think about your strategies, where you place yourself. It's a whole strategy game at this point, including, I would say, like the action and the attacks of a first-person shooter game. To me, that's... wow, that is really better than every other kind of bosses, like the one from Joker in Origins. No, not Origins. The first one, Batman Arkham Asylum. That was shitty. Well, that wasn't shitty. It was good, but it's a memory game. Like, if I remember right, you just shoot him with your, I don't know how to call it, but whatever that you grab to get on the ledge or whatever, and you pull him down and you do something, like you do an attack. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, you know? It's kind of the same thing. Every Nintendo game works like that. You have a certain pattern that you have to learn to beat the enemy. Once you got that, that's it. It's really easy. Nintendo games, like the Super Mario Brothers games, they always work like that. They have a certain pattern. Like, I can't remember exactly, but I know that some of them, they just do an attack or two. They get in their shell or whatever, because they're turtles or whatever. They just slide from one screen to another, well, from one side to another, and they get up and they do their attack again. It's always like that. It's old. It needs to evolve, that's it. But does that make the game great? Like, awesome, 10 out of 10 because of Mr. Freeze attack? No, it's a good game, that's it. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change my opinion of the game. Just because of one little thing that makes it awesome. I could go on and on like this, but I'm just going to stop at this point because I feel like I'm just babbling. But anyways, that's my thought on the subject, and I just thought of just like sharing it. Do I make any sense? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Just tell me in the section below. See you later, guys.